PVC, how you doing? It's Gordon I Dig Vinyl. What are the best bargains you have got in your record collection? And when I talk about a bargain, I'm not talking about records that you've found in some deep secret location that have turned out to be worth hundreds and hundreds of pounds, an inheritance that you've got for nothing or something like that, or a great find from the darkest recesses of a charity shop or something. What I'm talking about are records that if you go on Discogs, they're in your own collection and they're not technically worth an awful lot, but you can pick them up in very good plus condition minimum for under £7. £7 and under. The reason I'm talking about that is because as a record collector, I'm very kind of conscious about I suppose the cost of the hobby. And also recently I've started to make sure that I'm valuing, and I don't mean the Discogs valuing, but really appreciating everything that I've got in my current collection before I go on to buy anything else. So it got me thinking about my Discogs values. What are the records that you own that you can pick up in Discogs today, for as little money as possible? All right. The reason I'm kind of thinking about that is because clearly we've got a cost of living crisis. When you look at the news, it dominates everything, doesn't it? Mortgages, interest rates, fuel, all of that. So thinking about maybe adding records to your collection might seem, I don't know, a little out of kilter. Anyway, what I've been doing is checking out my own collection and really, really enjoying these bargains. So if I share my seven at under seven, I would love to maybe spark something where someone else shows off 7 records that they have in their Discogs and on their shelves that you could pick up just now if you really wanted to for under £7. I don't quite know what £7 translates into in terms of dollars or any other monetary value, but if you think about records that would cost under 2 coffees, that sort of thing, that's the ballpark I'm in. So I've got 7 to share. It was an interesting little challenge for me. I wanted to rifle through Discogs, see what I could find, how much would it cost to buy sort of tonight if I really wanted to go out and buy these, how low could I go, share a broad collection. This is what I've got. Hope you enjoy. I'm just going to crack on and show this selection. Right, here we go. I thought I'd add a bit of music just to lend a sense of occasion. So in the first one I'm going to show, hot off the press, we've got Chris Hillman, the amazing Chris Hillman. What a guy. I think he's still making music now into his 80s. Legendary performer, troubadour, an explorer, a massive influence on country rock, all through the Birds, Flying Burrito Brothers, the Hillmen, Manassas, and on and on and on and on and on. This is his solo album, first solo album I think, 1976, which if you wanted to buy tonight, you can buy a near mint VG Plus, I think it is, for £3. What an album, what an album. I really like it. My favourite track is the final track. It's called Take Me on Your Lifeboat. When you hear that, you want to get the hoedown going. I love it. I love the double denim. He looks so nonchalant. Great album, great country rock. £3, can't argue with that. Okay, next, how about a bit of psychedelic soul, funky psychedelic soul, a genuine masterpiece. There it is, masterpiece. It's a masterpiece by the Temptations, and really look at that. Look at the back of that. It's a Norman Whitfield masterpiece. What does that tell you about the setup of the Temptations at this point? I think it's 1973. Great album. Here's Norman Whitfield, the amazing producer, writer. Here we've got the Temptations on top, the version of the Temptations that we have at this point. Cool album, which you can get, let me just check my notes, oh yeah, no more than £4, so that's like a fancy latte or something like that, isn't it? From Costa or Starbucks, get one of these instead. Get a Masterpiece. Masterpiece, the track itself is worth the admission money and more. I really love it. It is, just hit myself in the face. God, the dangers of vinyl. Where am I now? Almost concussed by this. Masterpiece is about, there it's there. It's 13 minutes, nearly 14 minutes long. What I love about it though, and I'm sure this is all about the scale of Norman Whitfield, Temptations themselves are only signed for about 3 minutes of that. The rest of it's this great testament to Whitfield's writing, composing and production. Deep, funky stuff. Just kind of repetitive, very simple bass line, uber groovy, goes on and on and on, just dead soulful, dead funky. And you can get it for, as I said, no more than £4, in definitely better condition than this. You can get it VG Plus tonight. Why delay? Okay, so next one, I'm branching out into a different genre and also splashing the cash a wee bit more. So if you're into your hip hop, how about a little bit of Heavy D? Now, this is a bit controversial. I really don't want to get myself into trouble here. This is Heavy D and the Boys album Big Time from, I think it's 89, round about that period in time. I should cover this up because I picked this up from a chap I better not name, don't want to incriminate him. It's actually from the local library. From, I think, round about 1990, it's just been kept secreted in their house. If you were to buy it legitimately on Discogs at this point in time, this is going to cost you somewhere around £6. Heavy D and the Boys it's really quite cool, quite upbeat, quite funky, sort of party hip hop, reminiscent of guys like Young MC if you're into stuff like that. So yeah, I like it a lot. A wee bit different. Here's Heavy here. He's kind of classic rapping of that time. It's a lot of rapping about his prowess for such a big guy, all the rest of it. Not too serious. There's no kind of Dre-like undercurrents at this point in time. As I said, it's kind of party hip hop, pretty cool, and about £6. Okay, back to the soulful vibes. One of the biggest bargains. I love a comp that can set you down a nice little rabbit hole if you're interested. This one here is an excellent compilation of great Philly soul. So Filibusters 2, being a compilation of that kind of music, it's absolutely all killer all the way through. Great artists. What we got, everything, like the OJs, the Tramps, the 3 Degrees, Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes. I love MFSB, that kind of, it's the kind of famous, it was a TV show at the time, music show. It ran for years and years, I believe, and this was the theme tune. You put that one on, you want to think that you've got to grab a kind of white suit, big lapels, massive flares, and kind of give it that sort of funky dancing. It's brilliant. What else is good on here? Oh, so many good tunes. For the Love of Money, that's the one, the OJ's track. When you hear that one, you'll know it. It's been sampled by multiple hip hop artists. That money vibe. I think Grandmaster Flash very famously took the kind of hook there. Great album though. And what I love about stuff like that, you're talking under £3. VG Plus, round about £2.98. In great condition, ready to rumble if you want to sample something like that. Great Philly soul. Next up, I think I'll share, in terms of my tastes at the moment, one of my favourites. They're all great though, but one of my favourites, I'm surprised you can get it so cheap. This is the Soup Dragons, their debut album from, I think it's 1989. It's called This Is Our Art. And you can get this on Discogs now for no more than £5. I got my copy on Discogs a while ago, and this is very nice VG Plus maybe even stronger than that, I don't know. Really great condition, plays lovely. What kind of music we're talking here? Soup Dragons, influential Scottish indie band of the 80s, kind of intrinsically linked with the likes of Teenage Fan Club and BMX Bandits. Here you've got 1989, so we've got a kind of neo, I think a lot of it's neo-psych, reminiscent of that kind of psychedelic 60s stuff, but then there's a more, definitely a more of the time indie vibe too, but really, really strong. I think quite an influential band, yet rather underrated. Never really got the sort of, I don't think they get the critical acclaim that the likes of the Bandits or the Fannies did, even though I think they're all, as I said, very much intrinsically linked. So that's their debut album, but they'd released multiple singles in the kind of years leading up to that. But a great album, and surprisingly cheap, I would say, at about a fiver. Next up, I think I'm at number 6. I might be losing track. Here is an Uber bargain. This is an album called Tuxedo Rag, Ken Collier's Jazzmen, the Decca Years Volume 2. So it was released in 1986. It is obviously part of a series, I think there were 4, the Decca Years, of Ken Collier and his Jazzmen. Really, this is live music from, I think it's the 1950s. I really, really like it. It's one that had been sitting on my shelf unloved, and possibly the type of thing I would lift and donate to the charity shop, because I got it in a big haul. But I've been spending time listening to all my records recently, and it's one of those ones that transports you to a different time and place. So I hadn't heard of Ken Collier at all, but he's an English band leader, great jazz man. His stuff is New Orleans jazz. So if you put this one on and shut your eyes, you're there. You're on the. My geography might be awry here, but I feel like I'm on the kind of riverboat. It's that kind of classic. There's sort of banjo stuff happening. There's a bit of ragtime feel. Really cool. Really, really great. As I say, quite transportational, if you like. And amazingly, or not if you want to build, you're not going to remortgage your house with this particular thing. £1.19. £1.19. That's what you can look to pay for this if you want a bit of great New Orleans jazz by Ken Collier's Jazzmen. Awesome. Finishing off, I'll go to my 7th selection. I could have picked loads of other ones, but I wanted to pick a nice little mixture of music. So this is the most recent in terms of when it was released. Gracious Losers. Gracious Losers. So I picked this up in my local charity shop a while ago. It's called Six Road Ends. It's if you don't know the band, I'd certainly never heard of them. They are sort of Glasgow-based musicians. I don't think they're absolutely active at the moment, but this was only released a few years ago. You can see I paid £7 in the charity shop. I thought it was well worth it, to be honest. It was a bit of a blind buy. I recognised the label, which was Last Night from Glasgow. So I thought I'll take a punt on it. And stylistically, they're a kind of fairly big collective of musicians. So male-female vocals. Stylistically, we've got a bit of sort of Americana vibes. Some of it reminiscent of Lou Reed, and Lou Reed specifically of sort of Coney Island Baby style Lou Reed, sort of mellow, sort of chilled. Some of it I could imagine coming off of Loaded by the Velvet Underground. Some of it's a little bit more 70s Paul McCartney style, and I do mean all that in a good way. So this is my most expensive one. There's a big £7 right there. On Discogs you can probably pick it up a little bit cheaper, but impressive. Quite catchy music. I like the interplay between female male vocals. Some of it sort of reminded me of Martha and the Muffins. That might be a bit of a stretch. Mostly it's in that kind of Americana and Lou Reedish vibe. But I was happy to find it, and you can get it on Discogs pretty cheap if you're in the UK. That's Gracious Losers with their album Six Road Ends. I hope you saw something in there that maybe caught your attention. Quite a decent blend, I thought, a bit of hip hop, New Orleans jazz. What else we got? We've got a bit of really cool soul in amongst there. Nice 1980s indie stuff as well. So, but all crucially easy to be picked up on Discogs for under £7. In some cases, under £5. Some cases under £2. So I wanted to show off albums that probably I wouldn't otherwise, and it's particularly because of that wider financial sort of world that we look into, and I would love to see maybe guys in the VC showing off some of your bargains, because maybe what that might trigger is just that kind of sense that you can pick up great music for very, very little, and maybe we could, I don't know, just kind of share the love of some of the lesser shown records you have in your collection. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.